everybody. Welcome.
Oh,
Hope you all had your lunch, and we are meeting after a very perfect and beautiful first session with an inaugural session and uh, other panel discussions. Now we are moving on to the second half of this higher and technical education virtual conclave, focusing on Rajasthan. I am very happy and we are very honored that Ma'am Shuchi Sharma, Secretary of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Rajasthan, is chairing this program, and we are very thankful to her. And also, she is here to join us in this session on employment and placements for students. As she's always worried about students and their employment opportunities for them, and keep on working for generating employment opportunities for the students of Rajasthan. And we all have, and also a matter of great pleasure that eminent panelists from human resource HR fraternities are here, and I welcome all of you. So I just introduce with the names uh, uh, about the panelists and the moderator, and then I'll hand over the session to Ms. Runa. Uh, this topic is paradigm shift in the employment and placement landscape post COVID-19. And we have as the chair of the program here, Dr. Shuchi Sharma, IAS Secretary, Higher and Technical Education, Government of Rajasthan. Welcome, madam. Namaste. And to moderate this session, we have Ms. Runa Maitra, founder of People Talent International. Welcome, Runa ji. I also invite Mr. Rajiv Kapoor, Executive Director and CEO of and Group Head HR of Minda, NK Minda Group. Rajiv ji, आपका स्वागत है. Mr. Prem Singh, President Group HR, JK Organization and President National HRD Network, Delhi NCR Chapter. Prem Singh ji, आपका स्वागत है.
Thank you.
I also invite Mr. Tapas Acharya, Senior Vice President for HR in Renew Power. Tapas ji, welcome.
Thank you.
And last but not the least, I welcome Ms. Ekta Khanna, Talent Acquisition Head, Marks and Spencer. Ekta ji will join once I leave this discussion. So we welcome Ekta Khanna ji also. And with that, with the due permission of Ms. Shuchi Sharma, I request Ms. Runa to moderate this session.
So, good afternoon, everyone.
good afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a true delight to, share this platform. We have heard you before, and we were truly, truly impressed by the great work you are doing under your leadership. So it's a fantastic opportunity for all of us from HR industry to learn from you right here, and also discuss certain pertinent matter which we are going to reflect on the theme and then go through the session. So ma'am, may I request you to share your views and do the keynote session, please?
This is a very relevant topic, very selected by Elets for this conclave. And in the inaugural session also, I congratulated Elets for this. And again, I would like to give thanks to Elets that they have given this platform that we are interacting again, solving our problem, posing our problem, and seeking solutions, interacting with all US experts from HR and from academic fields. So it's a great opportunity. Runa, I have heard you before also, and I was quite impressed with the zeal you work and with the knowledge you have about your profession, about the work you are doing. Here on this panel are, besides Runa Maitra, Rajiv Kapoor ji from Executive Director and CEO from Minda, and Prem Singh ji, President Group HR, JK Organizations, Tapas Acharya ji, Senior VP HR Renew Power, Ekta Khanna, Talent Acquisition Head, Marks and Spencer. Before this expert panel, I am sitting here from the government on behalf of more than 15-16 lakhs of students from different streams. They are technical education, they are higher education, general education. And I'm saying on behalf of them, I'm posing the problems because, as you all know, the employability and employment is a great problem in the system itself, and now in the change scenario, in this critical situation which has come up due to this COVID crisis, it has still more difficult, and the students, the youth here is a little disillusioned. What will happen to their employment opportunities? How would they cope up with the internships problems due to this lack of connectivity, lack of transport, social distancing, and all? So many hurdles and restrictions are there now in the change scenario, and they are really worried about what will happen uh, to their new session, what will happen to their new admissions, and how would they pursue their internships? How would they, if they get the job, then are they going to remain in the job, or they would be there will be some hiring and firing from the companies they are selected in? There are so many things. So I am here not to share my knowledge or my, because I don't think I am a knowledgeable in this field, and I'll have to have feedback from you all. I'll have to have solutions from you all, because as Karthik has introduced me, I am really worried about the students who are in this, who are searching for their jobs, and who have completed their exams, who have completed their academics, and waiting for the exams, waiting for the internships. There are so many problems. So I won't take much time, and I would like to hear from you all about these problems. The children, the students of the state are confused about, and how to be through. What are the advices you would give them for the internships? Are there provisions for some online internships? Are there provisions for some online interviews for jobs? All these things I would like to have a share from you, and all the participants who are hearing it, who are listening to this, our speeches and all this, they are participating in the conclave. They are also keen on listening to all that. So please, I won't take much time on that. I would like to hear from Runa and the other experts of HR sitting here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And we are grateful that you raised certain challenges we all are facing. And in fact, I would rather look back and talk about what we were already discussing in last few sessions, that basically a fourth industrial revolution led by AI will restructure industries globally. Care must be taken that inequalities and inequities developing economic are not aggravated in the process. I think we were dealing with AI, now with a very different situation. And in fact, that helps me to reflect on one of the quote I read about Rabindranath Tagore said once, faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark. I think here we are talking about the bird with a human resource, and here with the light is the hope. And we all have such eminent speakers who would bring some light and will bring some guiding principles, hopes for our students who are listening, for our professors who are part of our audience. So without much ado, I'm going to request all my speakers to share their industry perspective, their thought process about what Shuchi ma'am requested us to give some enlightenment around how do we encourage the whole community of academia, students, faculty, and who all are creating that ecosystem. So my request to each speaker would be, Please share some thought around 2-3 minutes, and after that we'll have questions, and also looking forward to loads of questions from our audience, because Elets is doing a great job. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you everyone who is supporting us, and we are expecting a lot of questions from various channels you're streaming. So I will go to Rajiv ji, and please start the session with your thought process. Thank you.
Thank you, Runa ji, and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for the opportunity for being here with all of you. Like we said, that it's a very pertinent topic we are going to be discussing for the next 50 minutes now. So the COVID has actually impacted the entire globe. So every industry, every office, everybody is impacted as of now negatively, I would say. Let's see how it goes forward. So we are talking about a post-COVID scenario. So I'm wondering whether we are out of it. We are not out of it as yet. So currently what's happening, and let me base my deliberation on the auto sector because that's what I represent. And auto sector has actually been grappling with a lot of issues even before COVID. From I think September 2018, the auto sector has been declining month on month after month. Numbers are going down. So we were very cautious anyways in the last year. Our budgets have been very cautious. Our hirings have been very, very cautious. And with COVID coming in, I think it's basically given a very, very deep impact to the entire cost structure of an automobile organization. We were struggling with BS4 kind of scenarios. But anyways, we are now completely talking about COVID here. So right now, let me tell you what the organizations are doing. I think they are right now trying to look at their sustainability models. So we just finished a financial year. We were just entering a new financial year and when this happened. So whatever was the thought process on the budgets and the cash flows and everything has gone for a 6. So there's no sanctity of that. And we don't know when things will become normal. There's no sight towards that. So we are not sure about it. So right now, what not only auto sector, I think all the sectors are going through is a survival plan, how to sustain the organizations. I think that is the top of the mind agenda right now. And all the teams are talking day in and day out, how to keep afloat, how not to sink. And there are certain knee-jerk reactions being observed. And that is pretty natural in these scenarios. Because right now, the objective of the teams are to sustain the organizations. So there are some, let's say, unpopular, certain tough, certain hard decisions which have been taken, which you have been reading in the newspapers. So I think that has happened. I think now the industry is trying to grapple with a new scenario. Those reactions were there for the, let's say, first 40 days or so. Right now, the industry is grappling with a new scenario. What are we going to do if this is the new lifestyle, if this is the new way of working, if this is going to stay? How do we stay relevant? So now is the time when I think organizations are talking about their planning process going forward. The long term, the real deep thought through planning process, not the knee-jerk process. So there are plans being discussed right now on the manpower planning. What is going to happen? So, and I won't mince my word by saying that, yes, there are going to be less number of people required. And one thought process which is emerging in the manufacturing organizations is to look at automation, a very high level of automation. AI was already there. Industry 4.0 is already setting a base in manufacturing. Right now, a high level of automation. And this has got triggered by the fact that you are seeing the plight of the migrant people, the way they are leaving, and they are all saying that we are not going to come back. I don't know how are they going to survive, but that's the latest thing. So industry is now trying to look at becoming more and more independent from the manpower scenario, invest more capex in the machinery so that automation is there and we are more self-reliant. So that is a new thought process. So what does that mean for the education industry? I think looking at the post-COVID scenario, what we are looking at is people who are more adaptable, who are actually 100% or more than 100% digitally savvy, who can operate from anywhere. Virtual jobs are going to be there. We were having a discussion in one of the other forums. So even your employment contracts are going to be now different from what they used to be. Your pay structures are going to change. it will be block-based pay structure. It won't be a standard basic HR and conveyance allowance kind of a thing. It is going to be very, very different. So the HR community right now, I am sure they have not yet come out with a solution, but they are talking about it. And in the next 2-3 months, these scenarios will start revealing themselves. So nothing to worry too much about. Yes, there will be less number of people required. So there is a problem there, yes. But let's look at the silver lining. So while COVID has pushed the needle towards digital and virtual, which we were slowly getting to, but I think now we've pushed towards it quickly. And everybody has become digitally savvy and willing to work virtually, working from home. In manufacturing setup, we were never used to working from home because we are a very Gemba-oriented organizations. Gemba means where the action is, so you have to be there. A daily work management kind of a process-driven organization. Now you're working from home. So the entire thought process has changed and we will literally push towards it. But now we worked for 2 months on this. Yes, it can work. So that is what I think the new reality has dawned upon the manufacturing sector. And this is going to, let's say, decide what kind of people are we going to look at in the organization. So that is what I think we are doing it. I'm not saying that we have already made a solution. No, we don't have a plan right now. We are still working out and the entire sector is working out on the plans. So I think these are the new realities we'll have to live up to, but nothing to worry because these scenarios have come earlier also. Maybe this is the most severe one, but we will come out stronger out of this. So there's no need to worry for the youngsters. I'm sure whatever I've been talking to people who have given offers to youngsters, they're going to honor that. Last year, we did also honor the offers we had given. Nobody's backing out. Maybe 1%, 2% industries may do that. But most of them are going to honor their offers. I think that is a very positive thing because industry is also a responsible citizen and they have these things very clearly thought through. So I would say from manufacturing setup, things are going to change drastically. So let's be ready to change. Let's be ready to adapt to that change. Let's adapt to the new virtual ways of working. Manufacturing was not actually used to it. But now, in the last 2 months, we have suddenly become highly used to it. And we vouch by that. So that is, I think youngsters are pretty much anyways very savvy on the digital front. Data is coming up very rapidly. Data analytical jobs, data scientists and all. I think these are the new things which youngsters should learn very quickly and then be industry ready. So I know there's a shortage of time. I'm not going to spend more time on that, but that's the view from a manufacturing perspective I wanted to put forward. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We'll answer the questions later. Thank you, Runa.
Thank you, Rajiv. And I think very, very pertinent point you have shared. Thank you for that. And now I would request Prem, who is not only had been in CHROs in leading organization, multiple industry, including pharma, currently JK Group, which is a very large group. And also I would request humbly to Prem that he is doing great work for the HR community, student community, being the president of National HR Network Delhi NCR chapter. So I would request Prem to bring both perspective, and I would also humbly request each of our speakers to take care of the time and make sure that all of us are sharing our thoughts. At the same time, we are also going to give good time to our audience to ask questions. So over to you, Prem. Thank you.
Thank you, Runa, and thank you, the organizers, for this opportunity. It's a great opportunity for me to share my thoughts. And Runa, I was just thinking when you said all the good things about me, I wish my wife was around and my children were also around. And unfortunately, they are in the other room, but that was nice hearing from you. Thank you for those kind words. Now, with respect to my thoughts, let me just share in two different buckets. One is what has happened in the industry and how the industry is dealing with the current situation. That's number one. Number two, what it means for the students and what can they do to emerge stronger out of this current situation. So as Rajiv ji said, I think it's a significant change that has happened, and the response of the industry is going to be in 3 different phases. So the phase 1, which currently is now going on, is that industry is trying to make sure that there are 2 things in place. That number 1, we are protecting lives of people, which means we are protecting lives of all of our employees, making sure through the social distancing norms and what have you. That's number one. Number two, we are also trying to ensure that the livelihood of the people, of the employees, are protected. That's number one. That's the current phase immediately that is going on. Phase number two, which will start immediately after the lockdown is over. In fact, partly it has already started. Ramping up the operations, whether it is manufacturing or selling or distribution, whatever you have been doing, ramping up. In the phase number two, and it's very important for me to talk about, I think one of the critical challenges we are going to face, and it's already being faced by a lot of organizations, how do you ensure that the workers, the migrant labor that have gone back, how do you ensure that they are back to work? I worry, in fact, and a lot of my colleagues in the industry are worried on this front, that industry is going to be ready with their own plans and everything on place, but the workers are not around. So you are ready to start, everything is in place, but the workers are not around. So that's going to be a big challenge which industry is going to face. So here is my take. And this is a thought for all of us to ponder. Since we are talking about a large number of graduates, postgraduates who are going to pass out from the universities, can some of these, under the guidance of some professors, do some kind of a messaging, some kind of a communication, some kind of connect with the workers, with the migrant labor, trying to instill in their minds some kind of a confidence, because what they need is confidence building measure so that they are back to work. Of course, industry is doing as well. And I think this is where industry does need some kind of a help. So my submission to the academia, if this is something which could be also jointly addressed, and industry would be very keen to partner with the academia, probably through the summer internship, because this is where you need a lot of people to reach out, to connect with the workers, to connect with their families, that this is something which is a reality. And once you accept that this is a reality, you have two choices. Either you run away from reality or you face it. And if you run away, there is no, I mean, you are not landing with a solution. If you make a choice of facing, there is a silver lining. And once you make that choice of facing, then whole world of possibilities emerge. So, and it's a fact that it's a pandemic. As the human race, we all have seen a lot of similar situations in the past of a lower degree, lower magnitude. For example, we have seen Ebola, we have seen SARS, we have seen swine flu, all kinds of these kind of situations. Yes, the degree was lesser, it was less intense, but the fact is the human race, human civilization has enormous amount of bouncing back. So my suggestion, my submission here, and I think this is very relevant for the large number of postgraduates and graduates that are passing out, then some of these, under the guidance of industry leaders and also academia, partner, and they start reaching out, maybe small videos. For example, could a small communication be made that, look, this is one another pandemic, and we have seen a lot of similar situations in the past. Another messaging line could be that there are so many deaths which occur due to accidents, due to XYZ, and here is another situation. And by the way, just because somebody gets infected by corona, it does not, and I repeat, just because somebody gets infected by corona, it does not mean one gets into the jaws of the death. No. In fact, in India, the death rate is probably lesser than 3%. So my point is, we must also appeal to a larger sense of purpose, and that kind of an appeal should be made in a very effective manner to all these people who have gone back, that 97% people still survive. And as a large nation, we can't just run away from this. So that's number one. Number two, I would again build on the point that Rajiv ji made about digital. digital nowadays is a basic. It is something like as a basic skill. And I would imagine that the industry is actually ramping up with lot more focus on digital, lot more focus on automation. Of course, it might take time, but after the second phase is over, which means ramping up, the third phase which will come up, and that might come up after 3 or 6 months, there would be enormous amount of focus on automation, on digitalization, and therefore the requirement for the industry would be looking for those people who are very high on digital literacy, who are also very high on data science, data analytics. Another point I would like to make, industry also would look for those youngsters who are also multi-talented. Gone are the days where you could look for only the person who is very strong on selling, on marketing. Moving forward, we would be looking for those people who can do multiple number of activities with reasonable amount of efficiency. For example, when I look for a sales and marketing graduate or a postgraduate, I would also look for somebody who is also very good in terms of data science and analytics, who can make some sense out of data, who can make very well thought out decisions with respect to data, and who can bring out a lot of new ideations. Next point, and this is very important, critical thinking was identified as one of the very important skill, along with creativity, by the World Economic Forum during their top 10 skills. I can never overemphasize on the need of critical thinking. We need people who can think out of the box. We need people who can think critically. We need people who can come out with a lot of innovative solutions. And these are skills which can be developed, groomed, and the youngsters can be trained. From the industry side, we are very forthcoming, very open to partner with the academia. And I would like to applaud Dr. Shuchi Sharma for the initiative that you have taken for addressing this issue in a very timely manner. And I must also say that you are in very safe hands. Runa is a very capable person. She is very well connected. And with the help of Runa and everyone, I think we can all provide a lot of inputs and guidance towards your journey. Last point I would like to make is, and this goes largely to the audience, to the students. And I would also, before that, I would also say, as Rajiv ji said, that as industry, we are honoring our commitments of the campus offers. We also had made offers to large number of students from engineering as well as management. We are honoring those. So there is therefore no need to worry. Last point I would like to make is a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the quote is, "What lies behind you and what lies ahead of you are very tiny matters compared to what lies inside you. Therefore, as human beings, as human race, we are much more capable than what we think we are." Actually, the only thing we need to do is trigger and draw out all the talents that we have as human beings and as human race. I'm sure we'll emerge stronger out of this current situation. God bless all of us. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Prem. It was truly inspirational. And we also know that you are overviewing the institution in Rajasthan. You have JK Lakshmi University, and loads of great work you and your team is doing there. So a huge round of applause to JK Group under your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And Rajiv, I forgot to mention the great work you're doing through CII. So we'll come back to you on all the good work you've done. Before that, I think we have very young leaders, one from talent acquisition and one for power industry. And we had been talking about skilling, and both our leaders talked about the skill we need in future. So whether to engage or to hire. So Tapas, please throw some light and share your views how you're managing that in your industry.
Okay, okay. The way I would want to present my views would be, I have been part of a couple of forums, and while in that forum, in one of the forum, there was a good insight which was put before us. It said that 40% of the people working from home have reported being less productive, right? And it's not that they have not been able to change the way of working, but I think work from home itself is a mind shift change which people are putting into. And when we talk about learning and unlearning ourselves, I think that becomes a very important responsibility on each one of us as to how do we shift that part to build up a better and how do we continue with the better performance that we have been giving. Rajiv and Prem have shared a couple of thoughts which I resonate with, and that is what we all are going through right now. Digitalization of practice is something which is very crucial, and at Renew Power we actually started working on digitalization a couple of years back, and all our practices are now digitalized. So how do we make sure our people learn how to use those digital practices? I think that is critical. So we have been focusing on training them. I think training becomes important as to how do you train your people to use digital practices. Third part, physical connect has suddenly got replaced by digital connect. How do we connect through digital forums like Zoom or Microsoft Teams and whatnot? Today we are wanting to connect with people, and there is no physical connect. So it's not easy for people who have always believed in connecting with people. So how quickly do we shift towards that side of working, where physical connect is lesser and digital connect is higher? And the last part that I'm wanting to talk about, I think, how do we listen more? How do we create more platforms where we are able to get those views of people and change according to them? I think that is one of the areas that we are looking at while we are moving to a post-COVID scenario. Yes, some of the skills that Prem talked about, yes, we have to be agile because that is the need of the hour. We need people with high level of energy, because no energy, no enthusiasm. So energy has to be high. So people have to focus on building their energy level. They have to take care of their health, their mental well-being. This is important. And that will be one of the important areas that we will be looking forward to people when we get them on board. Uh, Third part, people have to be nimble as well. They cannot be rigid. They have to be flexible, because today's time, we were in a lockdown, we are opening up, there could be a sudden lockdown again. So how nimble are we able to accept those kind of changes that we are talking about? Execution capability is going to be the focus. How quickly, how better you execute the areas that is given to you or assigned to you. I think execution capability continues to be and will be the focus in the coming time. Multitasking. Today, each one of us is wearing so many hats right now: office, home, people, employees, our team members, encouraging them to perform. So I think multitasking becomes the focus as we move on. Networking. Today, the world is completely on networking. I am networking with all of you guys. I'm sitting at my home, but I'm connected with not only some of the elite members of the HR team, but Suruchi madam, and all the people across who have connected to this platform. Networking is going to be focused. How do I quickly get on to best practices which are being followed in the other industry, and can I implement them in my domain? That is going to be the need of the hour. Explore opportunities and improving self on a regular basis, because times are changing faster. How can I explore? How can I learn new things day by day? I think each one of us who are sitting in the platform are here today to experience the learning that we are going to not only share with us, but listen to the people who are there across and sharing with us. Uh, Important for us, set our goals, set our targets, set our progress monitors so that we are able to monitor ourselves as to how we are improving on a daily basis. I think overall, the times are changing and they're changing fast, but things are also changing for good. I think digitalization opens up lots and lots of students to reach out to the corporates, to reach out to the knowledge champions that are there in the industry, seek guidance, seek new skills, seek new learnings. I think it's a great opportunity that we are in, and I'm looking at it very positively. Things are going to improve. Things are going to improve for better. People are learning. They want to learn, and we will have to create a lot of opportunities. And the biggest and foremost, which I agree with every member in the platform, yes, the students are better and more experienced in digital platform. They will be moving in very quickly with whatever we want to put it before them. That's a great opportunity. I thank everybody in Elets to give me the opportunity to be here. Thank you, Runa. Thank you, Rajiv ji, and thank you, Prem. It was great, and it is great to know from each one of you. Thank you so much.
Indeed, Tapas, what a lovely learning session. I mean, I am feeling that I'm a student right now, and it can't be better than fantastic learning from all of you. But we have, very exciting moment because now I'm connecting to very young talent acquisition leader who can throw light to our audience, and I'm sure the audience is excited to know how fantastic work Marks and Spencer. In fact, your previous organizations also have done a great job. So, Ekta, over to you. Please share all your talent acquisition acumen.
Thank you, Runa, and my fellow panelists. It feels exciting, feels great to be part of this discussion. Uh, like everyone has mentioned, Rajiv, Prem, and Tapas, I think the leaders clearly know, and we have been talking about the buzzword of digitalization. We all have been into it now. The COVID-19 definitely pandemic, it takes a toll on the economy. It has given us a very crystallized vision, I feel, personally for all of us, as well as professionally. We started more focus on our talent pool, on our talent pipeline, on our talent development, on our talent management. Yes, there was a different model which was adopted previously before COVID hit us, but it was more aligned to the way we are now functioning. We were almost there when we have started doing virtual sessions and virtual hiring, but now companies have started investing more, in AI and in automation, which are a critical part of the hiring process to assess the workforce for selection. However, organizations have adapted quickly, the workforce have adapted quickly, times are changing, we all are adapting to it, and adaptation is the key right now. The digital transformation, if you look at it, has actually accelerated than never before. We need to constantly keep ourselves updated on new technologies, on new applications, smart devices to smoothly transition. And this new gen is definitely very, very tech savvy. There has been very high utilization of now teleconferencing technologies such as Skype, Zoom, and for interviews also, if you look at it, leaders are using these resources, and implementing these technologies such as analytics, digital labor, and AI are the buzzwords which are going around. So virtual platform, they definitely help the talent acquisition team, to stay connected with the candidates in the market. Right from the start of the time we attract the talent, to screening them, to interview them, and now definitely we are even doing virtual onboardings. We have already started doing that. And the future looks like doing virtual career fairs and events, and like Dr. Sharma mentioned that, virtual campus hiring will be something we will be doing as well. So fully remote recruiting, more personalized career paths, and I think greater insights into candidate experience are becoming the new norm in the environment. And Yes, we have to keep looking out for candidates to fill up the job positions. While some positions may have gone down, there are others which have definitely gone up. We have to still rethink and reprioritize the positions we need to fill up, reprioritize the roles, rethink on the way we want to do our current talent management strategies. There are strategies which are being implemented, like I said, on virtual onboarding, on finding a best candidate through AI, or using even freelancers to fill up the gaps. So the hiring landscape is changing completely to more of a project-based resourcing, and individuals are leaving actually their permanent roles to fill up these increasing demand of contingent ones. So post COVID-19 world will see an influx of this type of trend, I feel personally, and organizations' demand will more increase and new normalities will form in place. You see the acceleration towards the e-commerce rather than brick and mortar sales. The top qualities which every organization will look into for any candidate would be their, learning agility, their ability to work, their ability to communicate effectively across different digital channels. So yes, while learning new skills will be important and helpful, it is also beneficial to be aware and prioritize those skills and tools and understand the market both during and post pandemic. And to remain employable in such competitive times, people need to definitely upskill themselves.
Thank you, Ekta, for such an inspiring, direction you have given to all our future leaders. And we are all waiting for them since they are into education, and our all academicians are curating them. So, if I'm allowed to ask a very small question to Shuchi ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. So I was reading an article and I read about this recent development where it talked about the big bang stimulus announced by PM Sir on May 12 and subsequently by our finance minister to pump prime the COVID-stricken economy is quite comprehensive in scope and aimed at lifting the key sectors by its efficacy. That will depend on a lot on speedy implementation. So implementation piece, ma'am, if you can guide us, because all the leaders are here, and I will have some questions for our leaders as well. But on this particular point, how would you want us to go ahead from the industry point of view?
See, from the industry point of view, what our state government is doing, I am not entitled to say something about it. I am not empowered to do that. But yes, as Secretary Higher and Technical Education, I just I am in fact expecting from the industries something which Mr. Charan, Mr. Rajiv, and Ekta and Acharya ji has explained that no doubt with all these restrictions and whatever the stimulus are being given from the government of India side, they still have so many restrictions, so many compulsions. As they were saying, I think Mr. Kapoor was mentioning that labor has gone out. To bring back the labor again and then start the manufacturing, it's a great problem. So all construction manufacturing is going to suffer for some time till they get the new recruitments and new hirings are done in their areas. So now they are constricting their operations and they are fighting for surviving rather instead of expanding. And they just don't want to be sunk, and they want to be floating. So with all these restrictions, the manufacturing construction industries are already, I think that scope is very, very less for our young aspirants. But yes, as Charan Saab has very inspiringly said that multi-skilling is something which raises the hopes, and if the students are agile and they are efficient and they equip themselves with many skills, and here comes the role of the e-learning and other education platforms who will be giving the students the opportunities to learn different skills like through online platforms like Coursera, edX, and other good e-learning platforms. So students will have to skill themselves. They will have to skill themselves online. They will have to change their mindset about the packages and all, because as they are saying, they will have to be nimble also. So the young aspirants will have to change their viewpoints, their expectations. They will have to lower down their expectations to survive in the situation. So these things are needed, and I think from the industries, I expect that there should be some forum. Runa can do that, and we can be in touch for that. That where we can orient our students through online, or some modules may be available for them, how to equip themselves for the situation which has changed due to the COVID crisis, how to make themselves more pliable, how to make themselves more efficient, how to make themselves more relevant in the new situation. And this applies to our faculties also. They will have to be mentors for the students. So something we can work over, some modules for training, some workshops can be done for the faculty, and some orientations for the students, for the young aspirants who are seeking for the jobs, who are job seekers, can be done through the HR part of the industries. This is what I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Definitely, we got the direction. Thank you for being our guiding light. I'm reflecting on what Rajiv mentioned about the new scenario we have gone through last 40 days, and we have come to a situation where we have to plan for future. So I have first question for you in that direction. The new normal promoted work from home practice, being industry agnostic. So is this model sustainable? Do you think there is a pitfall?
So it's not a question of model sustainability. It has to happen. I think that is the new normal, and we'll have to live with that. Now, if you're asking about the pitfalls, yes, it will have some ramifications. I'm not using the word pitfalls. It will have its own side effects, I might say. See, when we all go to an office and we join an organization, there's always a sense of purpose. There's a sense of connect and sense of belonging, which is a very important employee experience. So once you're working away from that, I think that is going to be a negative, because what is driving you? You're sitting at home, fine, you're getting instructions, you're fulfilling those instructions. So that sense of camaraderie, that sense of purpose is going to be missing, I think. Anyways, we would miss that. I'm not sure about the new generation, which will take birth in the new normal. It may be normal for them. But as of now, that's what I can think of. The things like Team Connect, social withdrawal will be there, because we are all social people. So the social withdrawal, you're not connecting with your teams. And then there's a sense of drive, a sense of competition. When you're working together face to face, there's a sense of competition. There's something which drives you. I want to excel. I want to be better than that person. I want to do better. That is not going to be there. So that's a massive, I would say, a side effect which is going to be seen. And then, of course, the current generation will also now have to grapple with the remote management skills. That is something which we will all have to learn now. And last 40-50 days, we've been, I think, by force, we're learning that, and we are delivering on the ball. Yes, it is going to be a new normal. Yes, virtual working from home and all will be there. But then these are some of the side effects I thought we should be mindful of when we make policies and all.
Yeah, true.
Is to go, and I have quick question for each panelist, one by one, and let's take very few minutes. So a quick one for Prem, that you talked about many you have taken, many activities you have done. So how would you also throw some various industry, mostly from the prep point of view, for students know what principles you followed for managing productivity and motivating people? A quick one on that.
Okay, I think I missed your part of the question, but I got a sense. You are asking a question about managing productivity and motivation, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So let me just talk about managing motivation. See, that's very important nowadays because the mahol in the house of any employee today is full of negativity, bad news, COVID. Just imagine the news that you watch, the WhatsApp messages you get, the newspapers that you read, or discussions you have are all around COVID nowadays. And therefore, your mind share is 95% occupied by that. Against that background, as a management, I think you have a choice and you also have a responsibility to make sure that this large number of workforce that is sitting idle, and that applies across industry in large number of cities and towns, uh, barring those who are working now, which is very small number. So the responsibility is, how do you meaningfully, productively, positively engage these people? Just imagine, when the work is normally going on, you always have lots of ideas. I wish I had some more time with my team members so we could ideate, we could brainstorm, we could bring out lot more creative ideas, lot of out of the box ideas. So now is the time when there is lot of opportunity, when you can actually capitalize on the thinking capacity of people, and when you can leverage their creativity. All you need to do is, as management team, reach out to them, connect with them using technology, make small teams, and that's what we have done at JK organization. So using this kind of methodology, we have been able to identify lot of small projects. People could get together, people could talk, people could discuss, and come out with long list of small projects. So that's very useful, and that's our experience. Number two.
Thank you, Prem. So sure, please go ahead.
Okay. Number two, once you are able to take care of this, productivity by itself improves and it goes up. So therefore, you do not have to worry too much about productivity. You really need to focus much more on the people, engage them, leverage their thinking capacity, leverage their innovation. Everything will fall in place. That's our learning.
Thank you
Very
so
good.
much, Prem. And one liner from Tapas and Ekta, both from the point of view of branding and importance of communication, because that's how you attract and ensure the talent is with you, like employer and employee value proposition. Just one liner, because we have another 6 minutes only.
So who starts first? They're wondering.
Tapas, your name came
So
first. You can start.
Could you go first?
Okay, I will. Internal
We can't hear.
communication. Can you hear?
Now
Yes,
we can.
now we can hear.
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah, we can.
So the fact is, the role of internal communication plays a very important role while you position the employer brand. First is the internal brand, right? At this point in time, I think people are looking inwards to understand what is the organization doing for them, right? If we are able to build up that internal brand for ourselves, that we are a company which is wanting to support our employees, develop them, make them employable and productive, make their skills improved for future, I think that goes as a very strong message. Today, internally, we need to be stronger than what we are looking at external, right? The more we have an internal performance addressed, more that we are internally connected, I think the message goes outside that as an organization, we are internally very strong and we can tide over this kind of situation, whatever comes today, tomorrow, and in future. I think my take would be the internal communication. The internal communication plays a very important role while you're communicating what the organization is wanting to do for its people and the community at large.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tapas. It was quick, smart, and the right one. Ekta, over to you.
I think I'll continue to what Tapas mentioned. You know, it's very clear that, yeah, internal focus is something which each one of us is doing today. The employers, you know, they are more than willing to invest in helping the current workforce upskill and reskill. And that is what exactly we are doing today. We all are going through an exceptional time, right? Which are mentally challenging, like he mentioned earlier as well, on various fronts, whether it is your family, your health, your financial challenges, and many other more. But it is important that we are cognizant of these challenges we are facing, and we plan to deal with them. We don't linger them in the background, demotivating us. Important questions are to ask how physically fit I am, today. How do I achieve the clarity on my financial situation? Finding new jobs or switching industries might not be a norm today. It may take a long time to even switch jobs. Do I have a roadmap for myself? Am I prepared for future? Which of course the communities and professional forums and groups I can get associated will help me with. Even my own organization can help me. So I believe totally that while CVD is accelerating one of the biggest business transformation, it is a health crisis, but for most of the companies, it is also an incredible opportunity to transform right now and look at the well-being of their own employees, of the candidates who are coming in for interviews,
Yes.
and definitely look into that.
Oh.
Yep.
I would like to take a second to thank everyone and request Dr. Shuchi ma'am to help us to close the session.
Oh, yes, it was a brilliant interaction. And I could be face to face with all the brilliant CEOs and those really better for our young aspirants. And as I said, I would like to have a capsule from your side, which can be a guiding force for our young aspirants and which can be given to our teachers, also faculty, so that they can mentor our students for the future prospects of the way they will have to cope up with the new situation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I hope our audience enjoyed the program. And I'm once again thanking you, Shuchi ma'am, Tapas, Prem, Rajiv, and Ekta. We are going to look into all the pointers which Shuchi ma'am has shared with us. This is our commitment to you, ma'am. We will come back to
Thank
you,
you.
and Elets is doing a great job of being the bridge. And
Yes.
your direction to us is very useful, ma'am. Thank you so much, and we are
Thank
actually
you.
finishing before time. So over to Elets team. Thank you.
This
Thank
is
you
the
so much.
smartness of the
Thank
anchor,
you.
a
Thank you so
moderator.
much. It was a
Thank you.
wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.